hello, and good evening, and welcome to We Drink and We Know Things,
Shower edition.
shower edition. I don't know how great the microphone is, but you might be picking up the soothing sounds of a quiet rainfall in the woods in our background, um, because it's actually a soothing, quiet rainfall in the woods in the background. We're not playing any like mood sounds or anything like that, nature sounds, but yeah, it's very nice. It's lovely actually, but I'm not sure that the microphone's that attuned to the sound.
I think we turned it down a little bit to not pick up the soothing sounds of
Right.
dogs wrestling either.
Yeah, that's true. Hi, Kit. Yeah, she tunes in, and all she's hearing is like shower. Like what? What? Yeah. Sorry, it's the Monday night version of the Sunday night show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't introduce ourselves. I'm
Sorry
sorry.
we're not doing video for the shower edition.
Yeah, right. Um, so my name's Carrie, and this is Kevin, and he's actually drinking tonight. I'm not.
You're
What are you
drinking,
drinking? Yeah, I'm drinking seltzer, so. But what are you drinking?
I'm drinking from Woodford Reserve that I won at work for completing the most points.
Well, it must be nice to have a job where you can win alcohol.
Yes,
That's not my job.
it is nice. Not to say that I don't work for it.
Yeah, right. You work for your alcohol.
I was working this weekend.
Yeah, well, that you didn't have to, but you chose to. Uh, new shower technique. Yeah. I don't know if we can do. I know we can have like fairly loose NC-17 R-rated kind of like conversations. I don't know if we can do that video wise. I think that's for OnlyFans.
Is that your next account?
No, nobody needs to see this like that. But yeah. Ah, so it's August 1st already. Summer is flying by, and we're winding down and getting ready to hit fall. I like fall. Fall's like my favorite.
August just started. We're winding down.
Yeah. Hey, it's August 1st. That means school's around the corner. So,
Wow, look at you.
oh, I know. It's terrible. It's terrible. But on a positive note, I will say that I think I don't know if it was the Monday night show or if it was or a Sunday night show. It was probably the Monday night show because we didn't do our show last week because we were still coming back from Bethlehem. Yeah, we went to meet friends for lunch at 1, and we didn't leave down there until after 6. So that was we weren't like expecting that. So apologies to anyone who actually tuned in and was wondering where we were. That's where we were, but we're back. Day band camp this week. I love band camp. I hated it and loved it at the same time.
Never had the experience.
I'm sorry. You had such a terrible childhood. But anyhow, so I think it was on Monday night show last week that I mentioned I was having such problems with my hand, with like a pinched nerve thing, and it's definitely called stress for me. The reason why I know it is, my shoulder finally started feeling better, but my arm was getting worse, and then magically on Friday night, Kevin got an email from our landlords in New York, finally with the lease that was due to us 3 months ago, the lease renewal. And because our lease was up yesterday. And so they gave us the lease renewal, and Kevin was like, we're not going to bug them because every year we've had to bug them. Like, it's like we're supposed to get it in May, and we never get it. And we are always like, hey. And then they finally send it to us because they're supposed to, by law, give it to us 90 days before the lease is up. So anyhow, Kevin's like, I'm not going to argue.
Like 9 hours.
Yeah, really. And then they emailed you twice, like, come on, sign it. Like, all right, screw you. Yeah, he wasn't going to ask for it. And he's like, we'll just keep paying the same, whatever. But that was stressing me out. And so there was a lot of stress, and then like for other things too. So then the next day when I woke up, it was like my arm stopped aching, my shoulder blade wasn't aching anymore, but my fingers are still not functioning quite right. My ring finger, my middle finger, and my pinky, but At least I don't have the pain anymore in my arms and all that. So that's all your fault. As we hear our dog go flopping down the stairs. So, yes. This one time in band camp. Anyhow. All right. So let's start with one of my little article-y thingies here. Yes, Kit, I understand your hand's way worse than mine, so definitely feeling that, and you're a better woman than I am, that's for sure. So the first article that we're talking about, and actually I don't think Kevin saw this one, at least I didn't share it with him, and this is a slightly older one, it's like 2 weeks ago, but it's actually cash will soon be obsolete, and will America be ready? And I thought that that was an interesting question, because so many of us don't really use cash. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know there's still people that use cash, but like I never have cash on me. I happen to have some tonight only because we ran out before the show to get dinner. Kevin wanted pizza and I wanted Chinese food, and the Chinese place here only takes cash. So I had to stop at an ATM. But before that, I couldn't tell you the last time I had cash in my wallet. So I still have $20 in my wallet. So this is weird. So they're saying that, like, it's becoming a cashless society, and the digital payments, and you can pay with a cell phone, you can pay with a credit card, you can pay online with a random credit card number that like you can get generated, like Capital One, for instance. You can use like a and Citibank does the same thing too. I'm sure most of them do. It's a virtual number. So like if it gets stolen, then they'll know that it was used on this website, and how did it get stolen. It's it's more easily traced. But and banks now are starting to experiment with digital versions of their currencies, like kind of like Bitcoin, but not Bitcoin. Is weird. So everyone's kind of like giving this a shot, and I don't know. I brought this up just mostly because I wanted to know what your take was on it.
Well, there's a lot of problems with cash. You have to keep reproducing the physical bills or the coins. Coins last way longer than bills.
Mm-hmm.
Typical bill, I think $1. Well, at least it used to be. I think, I don't know, somebody told me this when I was like a kid or something. So yeah, it was a while ago. That $1 would only make it like a year or two before it need to be replaced, because the dollars get passed around more than.
I don't think that's true. I've
larger
gotten very old
currencies.
dollars.
You can get them, but usually the average is like a year or something. That's what it used to be.
Mm.
I don't think that's the case anymore, because I don't think people.
I don't think people are using much cash. So
yeah, things are circulating far less. They're also dirty.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You can also get sick from it.
Yeah.
Which we're currently in a situation where people are concerned about getting sick, and towards the early days of the pandemic, they were saying that
I remember
you can get sick
from contact
with things, but that kind of went away, and it's mostly airborne, this
Right.
particular disease.
But I remember people were like, no cash, no cash. And I was like, but you're not legally allowed to say you won't accept cash. That's why, because in certain places, like I know in New York, I think it's New York, some places says that, because like there's that new Amazon store that they were trying out. It was before the pandemic. I don't know if it's still going or what, but where you could basically walk in, you could scan your phone.
Yeah.
And then like you were there, you tell a story. It's kind of a cool idea, actually.
Yeah, like the technology to make it happen is cool. So this was just around the corner from where my office was before I changed jobs. And you create an account. It's an Amazon, so you can connect to your Amazon account, and you scan. It brings up a QR code, and you scan it at this like entry point, and then you go through. It's not exactly a turnstile. It's like a glass thing that goes. But anyways, you go in and you register that you're there, and it keeps track of the time that you're there, and you just pick up things that you want. And it's a convenience store. They have all kinds of different things. They have prepared sandwiches, and they have like boxes of cereal.
It's an Amazon store, but it has stuff. It's like a deli almost.
Well, nobody
like a 7-Eleven.
They make stuff and put it out, but you can't go up to a counter and
order anything. Right.
It's not made.
So
to
it's
order.
like a 7-Eleven kind of.
Kind of, but nothing is made to order. You can get there's a soda fountain where you can get a fountain drink. But anyways, when you look up, there are like hundreds of cameras everywhere. And when you leave, you get a notification like a couple minutes later and it'll say, hey, you spent 3 minutes and 4 seconds in the store, and these are the items you bought, and it charges your account.
Yeah, and you just walked out. Like you don't
There's no register.
nothing.
There's people around, and you can ask them for help, but they're just stocking the shelves and like there to help you. So it might feel a little bit like you're stealing because you don't have to like put it anywhere. You could just put it in your pocket and walk out, and they'll charge you.
Mm-hmm.
And the technology is really interesting. It's mostly camera based, from what I understand. But I think there are some sensors on the items, but like like there's a soda fountain, so you fill up the soda, so it's like tracking the cup. Okay. They have different sizes of soda, but I noticed that they, the few times I went there, it was always a sale that all the sodas were the same price, probably because they didn't know how to track the different sizes. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
so I was like, okay,
That would be hard.
yeah,
So that's kind of a neat idea. So that was
but no
cashless,
cash because
but
it goes directly to your.
but I
account.
think that they got in trouble because I believe, I don't know if it's a federal law or if it's a state law or a city law, but they were told that they have you have to accept cash as legal tender. Like you can't say no. And so I think, weren't they trying to like work around that or trying to figure out something to do? And then I don't remember
I know-
because then the pandemic hit and it was all like over anyhow.
I know what you're saying, but I think there are some exceptions to that. Like, I don't think you can pay cash for an Uber.
Is it because
You know what I mean?
it's right? Is it because it's a like a club, like a member thing? Because you have to be a
Have an
member of
account.
Amazon in order to go in.
I don't think
So
you have to be a member of Amazon. But you have to have an Amazon account. Like, you don't
right,
have
which
to be a Prime member. or
well,
anything,
no,
I'm
but you
saying.
have to have an Amazon account that's connected to a credit card and all
Yeah,
that. So
That could be. Then that would also explain the Uber one.
right,
So maybe,
same thing. So maybe that's getting around that now.
yeah. So like, if if Costco decided they wanted to not accept cash, that would be okay because of that. I don't know.
Does the door not open until you scan your phone and all that or something? Or
It's not a door. It's like it's like a turnstile, but it's not the metal. It's like a glass thing that
and it
moves.
slides, yeah. So
Like,
but
you
it
could
doesn't.
jump over it. but-
Yeah. Well, I'm not jumping over it just to get a soda. So,
No, it's silly.
but so I mean, so it doesn't open until you scan your phone. Is that it?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what do you think the chances are of, I mean, look at Easy Pass, right? When Easy Pass first came out, it made it so much easier if you're going over any toll roads frequently, right?
Yeah.
And I was like when commuting to the city, like there's tolls no matter where you go. And so I got an Easy Pass and I liked it. And, and then I remember your father flipping out and being like, I'll never get one of those. They can track you wherever you go. And it's like, dude,
Who?
your dad.
My dad had one when I was a kid. What are you talking
He
about?
was complete. He said he was not. He didn't want one.
We had one when I was a kid. When they first came out.
Well, then who was it that was saying that? Because I was positive it was your dad.
No, it wasn't my dad.
Oh, because he gets weird. Well, anyhow, somebody said, I don't remember who it was, said they refused to get an Easy Pass because you could be tracked. Like, like what time you could, oh, they're going to catch me for speeding if they know that I came in onto the turnpike at this exit and left at that exit and it took me this fast or whatever. And I'm just like, really? But now a lot of toll plazas now are completely like nobody's there and you just go through even if you don't have an Easy Pass and it's like, we'll send you the bill.
Yeah.
So,
That's
I mean,
cashless, right? The Georgetown
yeah,
Bridge
yeah.
is last time I went there, the
Yeah.
Palisades Parkway entrance is no cash.
Yep.
So
You just go through and then
it's
they'll
not a
bill you.
door, but yeah.
And then I guess some people will be like, well, then I'm not going to pay it. Like, screw that. But like, there was like somebody, it was a woman. She got, like she owed some like ridiculous amount of money in bridge tolls, and road tolls. Like it was like, I don't know, it was like $12,000 or something.
Yeah.
And they finally caught up to her and they basically impounded her car. And, I don't know if they arrested her or if they said that they were going to or what, but yeah.
All right. So there's a couple things. So
Okay.
the first thing is, why do we need to use cash? Well, lack of tracking. Okay, that's fine. I'm not a huge fan
Mhm.
of tracking. I understand
Right.
there are some good use cases, but it can very easily be abused.
Right.
So that's one reason to keep cash. Another reason why a lot of businesses like cash is so they don't have to report
Yes.
their income and they can drastically reduce the taxes they pay.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's great for society. Because if there are lots of businesses and individuals not paying taxes, then
Mhm.
that means the services that rely on those taxes, the taxes have to go up for people who are paying.
Right, right.
So the people who are paying the taxes are disproportionately paying, if that makes
Well,
sense.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's like when we finally got uh um the hardscapers to finally come out and do the work that they had promised to do before Memorial Day, in like the end of July. They, we had used them before and we used a credit card. And so we had them again, and this was about the same amount of money that we did. So it was no small joke. I mean, it was not a small
It's
amount.
cash business
It was a
is
couple
very
thousand dollars.
cash business is very popular for home
Yes.
maintenance, like
But
not like giant
but they
things
have
like
to be out of their fucking minds that they're like, well, because they were like they said to Kevin, it's okay, so it's X amount of dollars, and it was a couple $1,000s, and and Kevin's like, okay, well here, and Gate go to give him a credit card, and he's like, oh, I don't have I can't swipe that here. If you pay cash, or check, we'll we won't have to charge you tax. And it's like, how many people have several $1,000s worth of cash that they can just put their hands on and be like, here you go, count out $1,000 bills? Like, what? Like, come on. Like, but I mean, I know that they don't want to have to pay taxes and all that. I get that. But you know what?
uh-huh.
Fuck you. I have to pay taxes, so you should pay taxes.
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
That's a problem. And getting rid of cash would help with that.
Yeah.
I mean, people are always trying to avoid taxes, whether it's at the point of sales, whether it's income tax, trying to get your house to appraise less so you don't pay as much property tax, all
Yeah, but
kinds
then
of
you want it
things.
appraised more if you're trying to sell it and or
Yeah.
do home improvements. No, I know, and I get it. And like, it's annoying, when you have to pay taxes and all that, but like, for the most part I get it that like taxes are what help, like we got our tax bill for the school taxes, and like, it pays for good schools. We don't have kids in the school system, we don't have kids at all, but I think it's important to, to have good schools. So yeah, my money goes there, and I'm okay with that, even though I don't have children. I'm okay. I wish that they would use the money for the roads. Jesus, there's road, like the roads in Pennsylvania are terrible. So except for when we were traveling yesterday, we went down to we actually went to Allentown yesterday for dinner, last night with my cousin, and his wife, and my sister and her husband. And we were driving down 402 Kit, and all of a sudden, down near, I think it was like the Russica Scout Camp or something like that, all Russica Falls, all of a sudden, they decided they had tarred and chipped the road. They tarred and chipped 402 for like, I don't, it felt like 5 miles. I don't know how long it was, but thank God it had been done a while ago. So like it wasn't too terrible, but like, we had our Corvette, and it was like, oh my God, like it was terrible.
Are we
So
getting to talk about that?
the roads, they need to fix the roads. I was talking about taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, I mean, so it just bothers me. And then, and it's the same thing with like, you know, they complain about wait staff, that like, when you get a tip, you don't have to, they don't have to pay taxes on it. Yes, they do if it's on a credit card. If you leave cash, like you're supposed to claim your tips, but like nobody does. As long as you get like tips like on your shift, like on a credit card, then most bosses don't care if you mention how much cash you made. But
It also goes into showing how much you made for the year, which also affects if you get laid off.
right, your unemployment
Your
and all that.
unemployment.
Yeah, that's very
So
true.
if you're only
Yeah.
claiming you're making 25,000 a year, but you're really making like 50 or 60 with
Yeah.
your tips,
Yeah.
big difference.
Yeah, it is. So, it's just, so I mean, so that's, cashless, right? And it's I mean, now with like so many ways to make payments, like you can use PayPal. You don't even need to have a credit card. Like you can, I mean, PayPal kind of acts like a credit card a lot of times, like it's a safety. I like PayPal because it's like a safety net between your bank account and like the merchant or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and Facebook even has a way to pay people too. Like, I mean, there's Venmo, there's a million different ways of doing it now. So,
Yeah, I mean, but then the other side of it is the payment processors, which have been mostly the credit cards. And yeah,
yeah.
not everyone has credit enough to get credit cards, but you can still go through those payment processors if you have a debit card that is like a Visa card.
Yeah.
Um, So the big payment processors, Visa, Mastercard, American Express, they take huge chunks
Yeah.
of to process payments, and that is unreasonable.
Yeah, well, some like we stopped at a little like a gas station and like like a home owned sort of, not home owned, but like a
Yeah.
small family kind of like run business yesterday, and ran inside, and while you're filling the gas tank, I grabbed you a water and some gum and went to pay for it, and it said if you used your credit card you had to have a minimum of a $10 purchase or pay 50 cents.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had $4 and some odd, I had no cash. It was $4, and I was like, fine, I don't care, I'll pay 50 cents. But
Right.
like
But
a lot
it's
of places
crazy.
won't.
50
Yeah,
cents. Like 50 cents
yeah,
to do a process
yeah.
transaction. Like
If it's
should be
under $10,
it should be a penny. That
yeah,
should, like what it costs at their scale and all that. It should be
yeah.
a penny for every
And
transaction, and
a
they
lot
would
of
still
places,
make so much
yeah,
money.
a lot of places don't take American Express because they have one of the highest fees.
Yeah, they also have
Yeah,
more services and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I know, I get it, but geez. So I'm not sure, if it's yeah, really, Kit. If you use a debit card, they charge more. That seems even more stupid because that's
More
guaranteed
than a credit
cash.
card or more than cash?
I don't know. Is it more than, so you said an ATM debit card, do they charge more for that than a credit card, or more for cash?
More than
More
cash.
than cash. Sorry, I can't speak tonight. You'd think I'm the one drinking. Um, yeah, that's, I mean, I get that they have to pay a fee, but then how about you just, raise the price of stuff a tiny bit
Oh,
to
well, I was
cover
gonna
it?
say, what about the cost to make the actual physical cash and coins? Like, where does that money come from? Right?
Right. I don't
You don't
know.
pay to get a wad of cash.
Right.
So, like, the treasury produces it. Who pays the treasury? It's taxes from us somewhere.
Yeah.
But I wonder how. I'd be curious to know what the cost to produce like $1,000 is versus like what the transaction cost we pay for doing a transaction. Although like bills get recycled, though they're not just used once. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very, very weird, but anyhow. All right. Well, this is something that you brought up.
What is this?
This is the mixed reality could transform the travel industry in unexpected ways. So I don't know about this one. I didn't see this one. You just popped this up on me. So you want to give me a little heads up in the audience so I can,
Give you a heads up in the audience and the audience.
and the audience. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so I think this was mentioned towards the beginning of the shutdown.
Yeah, I think people were sort of doing this
like a year and a half ago.
They were doing virtual field trips in schools and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything like particularly new. It's just saying that it's a bit of the history, like a 28% spike in 2019 of people using VR and AR. So VR is virtual reality, AR is augmented reality. And just I thought it was interesting, the idea of doing virtual travel. So, and I'm curious about like our audience and you, Carrie, how much would you be interested in doing virtual travel? And do you think it would replace really traveling? There are certain places for me, before you answer, there are certain places for me that I would definitely do a virtual travel, and I don't know, because they're so difficult to get to, I don't know that I'd want to do a real travel. So like, I don't know, let's talk about like the North Pole, like the Arctic, Antarctica. Those places are difficult to get to,
right?
Dangerous, terrible weather,
right?
So, but it's not the same experience as being there, like feeling the cold and smelling the air,
right,
and seeing the sky, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then I guess also is it just like Google Earth where you're like moving around and moving around in still images, or is it like
no,
like would it be better if there was a person there, like your tour guide is actually really there and they're like walking around with a camera and talking to you live? I mean, that sounds more interesting. Like if that would be a thing. I don't see that happening in Antarctica, but like in other places, like, oh, you couldn't make it to New Orleans, so somebody like goes to New Orleans with the can. I guess people could also just do that live streaming.
I don't
but-
think that would no, I don't think that's how it would be. I think it would be more like so we have was it the the what the hell VR headset do we have? HTC Vibe.
Yeah.
And so there's the first time I ever put on, if you've ever tried virtual reality, like ever put like the goggles on and do that, it's kind of amazing. Like it feels like you're like inside of whatever you're looking at or doing, and it's kind of really cool. And the first time I ever really did it, there was one thing where you're actually like standing like you can go like out on a mountain and like you kind of walk around and like you feel like you're like, and that was pretty amazing, especially when you have the headset on and you're very kind of immersed in it. So I think it would be something like that where you could walk around. So it would be neat to be able to like go to, say, Mount Everest, right? And you could actually like kind of walk up and like get to the top and like kind of look at the view from, and it feels very realistic when you have the goggles on and you have the sound on and all that. So yeah, I could see that the draw of it, like for some places where you like it would be neat. Like I think it might be neat to see like Vietnam and Cambodia and some of those like very island jungle kind of terrain places, and even going South America and like to Colombia and all that. But I certainly don't want to go there myself. Like I physically want to be there because it seems a little dangerous and such. So I think it'd be really cool to be able to experience it like that, but it's never going to replace like being to actually be able to go, like if you want to, like, so we like to go to Ireland, right? So we've been to Ireland. The headset thing would be nice if like want to like kind of go on a quick trip visit kind of thing, like, but I mean, it's not going to replace the real thing. It's good for places that you'll probably never go in person, but if there are places that you want to travel to, it's not going to take its place. That's my personal opinion.
I think it's going to be really hard. Like it needs for me for it to be like satisfying enough to mostly replace going there. It would have to be I'd have to be able to like jump in to like whatever's happening there now.
So, and I
Like it'd have to be like a live feed.
I don't know how you do that. That'd be
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
and
not
it
easy
wouldn't
to
be,
do.
and it would just be like you're watching something. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it wouldn't be really like the VR aspect of
No,
it.
it needs to be interactive, but it needs to be live.
I don't know how the hell they would ever do that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, don't worry about how it would happen.
Hmm.
Just saying, if that would happen, would that be enough for you to like, I don't know, not need to go to Rome or something like a place that do you want to go?
Well, no, because you're still not going to be able to smell the fresh bread and the cappuccinos as you walk down the
Right.
street. You're not going to be able to taste the amazing pizza or the tiramisu, or I mean, like that's part of the experience too. You're not gonna be able to buy a souvenir or walk into like try it's have a glass of wine while you're looking off the edge of a terrace at the Amalfi Coast, or
Souvenirs
I
are not
mean,
what they used to be.
right.
Anyways,
Well, I mean,
but
you could have a glass of wine and look off the I guess you could do that in your house, but
I mean,
you could buy a pizza and bring it home and open it
Yeah.
up.
So we
yeah.
talked about this a little bit in the few places we've traveled. Like one thing we've noticed, I definitely noticed, is that souvenirs are kind of similar everywhere. It's like
They're all made in China.
Yeah.
Whether it's from Spain, Ireland.
and like we never spent a lot on them, but like magnets or
Yeah, we like
like a
magnets.
bottle opener because we drank and know things.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all kind of similar. And it's like this. I mean, it says like Ireland or Dublin on it, or it says this or that, but like it wasn't made there.
No, and like you can literally go online and find the same thing and buy it. I'm like, really?
So the souvenir thing, like I'd rather buy like a small piece of like real artwork from somebody, or something like that, or like we were in Ireland, we bought like a sweater that was made there.
Right. Well, I mean, I did buy the first time we went to Ireland. I did buy, and it was shortly after Tracy had bought me a Pandora bracelet, and I remember going and buying a shamrock charm. I could get that anywhere at any Pandora. It wasn't exclusive to Ireland, but I know that I got it in Ireland, so it's a little bit of a little thing, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of like that. But yeah, I don't think, I mean, I think the virtual reality is amazing, and it can be overwhelming. Like there was this little, like, it wasn't even a full game or anything like that. It was just like a little, like a blip. It was like a promo of like a Star Wars thing. And like you had to, like, you're trying to help fix a droid or something like that. I forget the whole premise. But then, like, you're in like a shootout,
Oh
and the
yeah.
Millennium Falcon lands, and the docking bay door goes down, not the docking bay, the ramp goes down, and you hear Chewie, like, do roar like that, and then you hear Han Solo say, "Come on, kid, let's go," or something like that. And I mean, I was just like, and like I could feel, like, like running up, and then like it ends, and it's like, the music's playing, and and it was like my childhood dreams come true. Like I had a lightsaber, and like, oh my god, that was amazing. I can't wait. When VR is going to supplant actually traveling places, when it becomes like the holodeck on Star Trek: The Next Generation. That is what I want. I hope before I die I can, like, see something like that.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't know. But oh, hey, Beard.
I
And Kit, yeah, snow globes. Yeah, that's, except for it could be dangerous and they can break on your way home. Jeez. But
I
yeah, I
I,
get it.
I
I
think
get
for the
it.
most part, I'd rather see time be spent on VR, not trying to replicate reality, but trying
Yeah.
to enhance
Right.
uh
Sorry. Yawned.
fictitious places like Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
It's like you can't go to
because
Tatooine,
yeah,
really.
no,
So
so yeah, that's nice. And like the with Dota, like when you could actually go into
yeah,
the game, that's pretty cool, because you have,
right.
like,
Even though it's a little cartoony,
but
but
it's still like these creatures coming over top of you, like, yo, and like you feel like you have to dodge. It's kind of cool. I think that would be perfect. Like, I think as this is a great opportunity. I know they were trying to do this, and I don't think it's taken off yet. I mean, I guess like Peloton kind of does it. Like you can ride your, like, Peloton bicycle, and like there's like a class, and it's like you can put like it's like you're riding on a course or something like that. But I think the real benefit of the VR stuff would be, like, be great for like exercise. Like, we haven't played it in a while, but we love playing Left 4 Dead, and or right now we play Valheim, and we saw there was like, I don't know if it was a not GoFundMe, a Kickstarter or something, but remember they had this like contraption. It was like a treadmill,
treadmill, yeah.
but it was like a round one, and like you suit up, like there's like this, like, it was like a vest that was attached like this, like, mechanical arm, and you kind of put yourself into that, and then you put the goggles on, and then like you can run, you can jump, you can, like, you do all of that stuff that your character would be doing, but like you're kept in that air, that's so like you can literally run, and that'd be great. You could get some exercise.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably die like every 3 seconds because I couldn't outrun the spitter or something. But I mean that's a great way to combine, like, like people's love of like playing video games, a lot of people do, and then with like some actual like exercise,
Yeah.
because that's the bane of all existence with the video games. You sit there and you do nothing but, like, barely move, and
I
yeah.
think that's been talked about for a while. I mean, that was a big part of the what was that book that the movie didn't live up to?
Ready Player One.
Yeah, that's what they were doing there in the what was the name of the world?
Don't ask me that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't
It
remember
was
anymore.
it was the something, not the Matrix, but something
Yeah,
like that. Something similar to that.
yeah.
Uh,
But
I
anyways,
read it a while ago, and I don't remember. I saw the movie a while ago, but
it's okay.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, well, that was kind of cool. I wouldn't. It'd be neat to do the virtual reality, I think. Um, so I'm gonna skip this one first. So here's another article of Kevin's. Um, it's I haven't had a chance to read it, but the headline was a little alarming. So, Justice Department seizes rare ancient tablet illegally auctioned to Hobby Lobby. Um,
Yeah. So
wow.
reading this article, you can skim it over while I'm talking
Yeah,
about it.
okay.
But I learned a few things about Hobby Lobby.
Well, I know they're ultra religious and closed on Sundays, and super anti gay, transgender, LGBTQ, whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they have a museum with some like
Are you
with
serious?
some
Like
artifact, like some
like
hardcore
religious
artifacts.
artifacts, probably?
Well, yes. So apparently the
Oh, it was part of the Epic of Gilgamesh?
yeah
Oh my God. That's the cuneiform tablet, roughly 3,600 years old. And they got their hands on it.
through private
Oh,
auctions.
come on now. That shit, that belongs in a museum.
But it wasn't a museum.
But yeah, but it was pillaged by the friggin' Gulf War.
That's where this is slightly
so it should go
controversial.
back to a museum because the Hobby Lobby Museum is not like a.
So wait, stop. It's you gotta read what's going on
alright.
because it's not like they're taking it from some douchebag's house and putting it in the museum in France or something. That's not what they're doing with it.
So it was after the first Gulf War in 1991. Thousands of objects were looted, including many cuneiform tablets from archaeological sites in Iraq.
Yeah.
In 2013, prosecutors said an American antiquities dealer bought the tablet covered with dirt and unreadable from the family of a London coin dealer. The tablet measures approximately 6 inches by 5 inches and is written in the Akkadian language. The U.S. dealer, prosecutors said, then sold the tablet with a letter of false provenance, stating the tablet had been inside a box of miscellaneous ancient bronze fragments purchased in an auction in 1981. Says that it was sold over several times in different countries. A later owner provided the false letter to an auction house in London. It was resold several times again before Hobby Lobby bought it in a private sale in 14. Holy cow.
They seized it from their store's museum
Right.
in 2019. So they literally went in the museum and took it.
The federal agents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Department of Homeland Security.
Wow.
Which I
Yeah,
don't really
because
understand
there's
why
a-
it's with the Department of Homeland Security.
Well, I don't know, but there's a whole black market with like smuggling, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, antiquities and stuff like that. I mean, this is like shit right out of an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, but they're not bringing it back to the museum. Did you see what they're doing with it? You missed the last part of it.
I saw it. It said that it says the forfeiture represents an important milestone on the path to returning this rare and ancient masterpiece of world literature to its country of origin. They're going to take it back to Iraq.
Yeah.
That's where it belongs.
You said it belongs in a museum.
Well, I mean,
You didn't say
I'm
it belongs
probably going to
back
be in a
there.
museum in Iraq.
But so here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Should we return all these artifacts to the country of origin? Because America has a lot of artifacts in our museums that do not belong here.
I think a lot of times the museums they also do like they lend things out to other
true.
museums. But this was not, I mean, I'm sorry. The Hobby Lobby Museum, first off, yes, Kit, you're right. Hobby Lobby is a craft store, but like what the hell are they doing, right? Like getting involved, like having a museum. And I guarantee you that museum is that open to the public? Is that like it's not like all right, now I got to do a quick search because this is insanity. Like Hobby Lobby Museum, like
it's not the greatest article on it, but
and it's all about the Gilgamesh thing. I don't see anything about where you can actually go to see it.
This is the like big news thing, but
yeah, but I mean, I just did Hobby Lobby Museum and I don't see anything about actually going there. It's all news articles about, and not just that one, but something else too. It says Christian Hobby Lobby opens Bible Museum after stealing something. I don't know.
there's a whole Wikipedia page article on
stealing Middle East history. What? I don't know what's going on here. But anyhow, so like, how can you actually like Museum of the Bible? Oh, so that's the name of it.
Guess so.
I don't know where you find it though, but like I don't know. This is very weird. Museum of the Bible. That was in 2017.
So just click on that.
I'm trying to, let's see.
Museum
Inviting all people to engage with the transformative power of the Bible, now open Wednesday through Monday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Washington D.C.
It's in Washington, D.C.
So I guess that's their museum. They own it or opened it or funded it or something.
I don't know. This is just, I don't know. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And so Kit posted, Stamad, I cannot pronounce the name. I'm sorry. Stay mad, Chud. Hate right wingers. Yeah, it says Hobby Lobby's smuggling scandal started in 2009 when representatives of the Hobby Lobby chain of craft stores received a large number of clay, bullae, and tablets originating in the ancient Near East The artifacts, facts, I can't speak tonight, were intended for the Museum of the Bible, funded by the evangelical Christian Green family. I'm assuming that's the last name is Green, not that they're green like as in like pro-environment, which owns the Oklahoma-based chain. Internal staff had warned superiors that the items had dubious provenance and were potentially looted from Iraq. So they were warned about it, and they still went ahead and like took it. And like, I'm sorry, I just hear Indiana Jones like yelling in my ear right now, like, you know, fighting to have things, you know, where they belong, like in a museum. And it should be in a museum in Iraq if it belongs, if it was, because it wasn't like the Iraqi government like allowed people, like because some governments will say, yes, you can do digs or whatever. And like they, you know, whatever. But like it was literally like taken and then falsified, like as far as like, you know, false documentation, you know, saying that it was, you know, being able to be sold or what. I mean, it was just the whole like paper trail of, you know, thievery here. So that just makes me hate these people even more. That sounds, I mean, I shouldn't say hate. That's a harsh word, but I really can't stand them. God. Well, I mean, that was a bad thing to say just then, but you know what I mean? Sorry. uh, well, I guess we should, you know, ignore this one because this is kind of sad and terrible.
Okay.
So we'll forgo the one article that I had that would be like bring the party down here. So which you want to do this one first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start by saying that this is not the show to listen to if you are trying to find out more about the Marvel Universe or want to know people's opinions, because we have not watched very many of the Marvel superhero. I always get them all confused too, DC and Marvel. So I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to make anyone mad.
That's
But
not really what I want to talk about.
no,
this.
I know, but this article, that's what I'm just saying though. So this is not really about that. So the article is Scarlett Johansson sues Disney for releasing Black Widow in theaters and on Disney Plus. I'm presuming at the same time.
Yeah.
So isn't that what they do now? Like a lot of movies are being released simultaneously, streaming and in the movies. So why did she flip out?
So they they decided to do this, but it wasn't in her original contract. So I don't know a lot about you know, actors' contracts and stuff, but at least the stars do often in their contract get a portion of the proceeds. The proceeds are from ticket sales in I almost said in a museum, in a movie theater.
Well, it's kind of a museum nowadays.
Yeah, nice. So Scarlett is supposed to get a portion of the profits from the ticket sales, but that doesn't include any of the money spent on Disney Plus or any other streaming platforms.
It's also, not only do you pay for Disney Plus, but apparently it's also the Premier Access films. You have to pay an extra $29.99 surcharge for them.
Right.
So they're making, like, Disney needs to make any fucking more money than they already do. So, so she doesn't really, it was a breach of her original contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release.
That too.
And her salary was going to be based largely on how it performed at the box office. It grossed more than $200 million worldwide on its opening weekend, including $80 million at the U.S. theatrical box office and $60 million via Disney Plus. That's no little joke.
Yeah.
That's opening weekend. So she just lost out on $60 million, percentage of $60 million. Yeah.
But, the question is, would it have been more than $60 million if it was ticket sales? Would more people have, here's the first question. So would more people have gone to the theater to see it if there was no streaming release? Or did this actually open the door to more people being able to see it? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it does open the door to more people being able to see it, but like, I don't know, like I'm not, you and I are not generally big movie people. No. And so, the last movie I saw in a theater, we saw a couple movies actually last summer at a little theater in Tunkhannock, but they were all movies like we had seen, but it was like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think it was Back to the Future, and so I mean that was fun.
Not new movies.
No, they weren't new movies. No, but like the new movies, like first off, I think the last movie I saw was The Rise of Skywalker. I think that was the last movie I saw in the movie
What was the
theater.
last movie you saw that wasn't a part of the universe of something that you already were aware of, like Star Wars, or The Hobbit, like Tolkien, or Raiders of the Lost Ark, like a franchise or like world that you like? When was the last time you saw a movie that wasn't part of a world that was already established
I
or you knew about?
think it was The Equalizer, when Steven was still teaching with us. So that was like 5 years ago, maybe, the first
That's the
Equalizer
universe you were already familiar with.
from the TV show
Still,
that was back in the 80s.
right? Everything you just mentioned is also like not new.
I couldn't tell you the last movie I saw that was not connected to anything else because I don't go to the movie theaters that often. You'd probably have to back way up to like, I don't know, somewhere. Oh, well, I saw no, I guess that's a franchise now. I saw that well, does Jane Eyre count when they redid Jane Eyre? It's not a franchise.
No, but
So that was like
it's still something that you already
2012
like. It's not like a
or
new
13.
story or anything. It satisfies my original conditions, yes, but
Well,
I
anyhow.
guess I'm thinking about like something brand new,
Gotcha.
a brand new story, I guess I should say,
Gotcha.
and not in an established
Right.
universe.
Yeah. Well, why does it have to be like that?
I don't know. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is like, are there any new interesting stories?
Well, that's a good point. And so we see so many remakes of so many movies, right?
Yeah.
And TV shows even they're starting to do that now. And it's like, are they all out of, new ideas? No, because there's a lot of amazing novels out there. There's a lot of really good books. Like, and so why can't we do something, off of, stuff like that? I mean, there are some like,
A lot of that is risky, and
yes,
it's very easy because there's so much established stuff. It's easy to be like, well, if we just make another Star Wars movie, people will go see it, even if it sucks because it's
right.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like the
That's the same thing with Marvel.
low
And same
hanging
thing with
fruit
all of
kind
it.
of.
Yeah.
Not hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That's not the best word, but yeah, like it's an easy.
Yeah.
Even if
It's
it
an
sucks,
easy
people will
grab.
still make money, and
Yes.
so that's the main thing.
Right. And so Kit did some research real quick. Thank you. And found out that Scarlett Johansson was paid $20 million for that movie. So $20 million for the movie, and she's unhappy.
Well, it wasn't the contract. It's
True.
not it's not necessarily the money, right? It's like the agreement, like you broke the agreement. That was part of the reason why I wanted to bring it up. But also the other thing is, how do we feel about like the shift from movie theaters to like this coming out streaming?
Well,
like,
I mean,
would you be sad if you never went to a movie theater again? Would you feel disappointed, or
there's a certain experience when you go to a big movie theater with a huge screen and there's other people in the audience and it's a good movie that. So I know Kit screams like no more Star Wars, but I say bring on more Star Wars if Disney lets go of it and gets its damn mitts out of it, because they're the ones that ruined it.
So you like the audience aspect a little bit?
Depends on the movie. Like if it's like a Star Wars movie, or if it's like an Indiana Jones movie, like it's, you can kind of like experience it with them. However, it pisses me off to no end when people are pulling out their damn cell phones in a movie. So that kind of ruins it right there. So probably I would not actually, I would prefer to go to some of the go to an old movie theater and watch, old movies in the theater again, like Jaws, like, that we did that. And like, I'd be happy with those experiences.
If you want like the exciting experience of like nobody's on their phone and people are like into it and they're like, cheering and stuff for like an action, like an Indiana Jones, I think you need to go on like the opening night, because those people are not going to be sitting on their phone.
No, that's true.
I know you don't like crowds. I know you don't like to wait online. So if you wait like 2 months in to go see the movie, you're going to get the people who've seen it the third time and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Or they're with somebody who's like, okay.
Right. That's true. And Kit said that, you can live without movie theaters, but they do have good popcorn. Well, what you need is
it's not that hard.
It's the movie theater popcorn. Like, oh my God. Like for Christmas last year, I got Kevin it's like a little popcorn cart, like like, and it's like the real movie theater popcorn popper. It's like like a, a
Oil,
like a pot almost,
stir.
and it stirs, and like you put like, and then you don't even have to, like, Kevin like measures his own stuff, and like we use, like, it was a coconut oil derivative or something like that with
I
like
mean,
the butter flavor and all, but
yeah, it's coconut oil with butter flavoring already.
right, and salt, right? Or no, you add that to it.
Salt is
Yeah.
separate.
But you can buy
Like
like a
butter flavored
pack that's
salt
already
too.
all measured out, and you can just like open the pack and dump it all in too. And it is movie theater popcorn. Oh my God.
It's better because you can put more of whatever you
What do you want in it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want more salt, you want more oil.
Yeah.
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 The only thing we don't do, because we don't like to do basic vegetable oils, or
Right.
like canola oil, or
Soybean oil.
soybean oil. So like one thing I do like in the movie theaters, that like butter topping that's not really butter.
Oh God, that oil
I
that
know.
you, oh,
I do kind of like that, but I've never bought it
God.
because it's always
it's
like
horrible.
it's like soybean oil, yeah. So I haven't bought that. But if you just put a little bit more of that, like coconut oil, it's buttery enough. It's
And look
okay.
at you saying coconut oil. You despise coconut,
I
but
do.
but the coconut oil is good.
I don't like
right?
olives either, but I like olive oil.
Right? See, there you go. And Kit was the Rocky Horror must be, you must see it in a theater. Yeah, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah,
Nah.
I know, it's just a joke. But yeah, it's yeah, that's one of the group things I did that once, many moons ago. God, I was in high school, I think. Yeah, that was cool.
I kind of like the drive-in movie theater idea too, but it's gonna be like a lot of kids, and yeah, it was
Yeah,
the thing
and
I did as a kid with my parents, but
I did it as a kid too. I couldn't tell you last time I went to drive in movie theater.
there aren't
Wow.
a whole lot of them left, but there's a couple.
Well, there's one in Scranton, the Circle Drive-In. Yeah, it's fun. The popcorn comment, gotcha. But I mean, popcorn. You gotta have popcorn, like the movie theater popcorn. Like I go to a movie theater and like people get like I'm like a I'm so old school. I go in the movie theater and like there's like you can get nachos with cheese, and like you can get
Yes.
like hot dog, like whole like full blown like meals, and like, and I'm just like, no, I just want popcorn and a water. That's all I want.
Yeah, I either want like just the basic popcorn,
hmm
and
Sometimes
although
you get a chocolate.
a beer would be nice.
Well, the movie theater in Scranton, you can get a beer.
That's true. Yeah.
We did that.
Or I want like a nice, like almost like a dinner, like
We did that too. That was cool. That was an interesting.
But I don't want to
thing.
like just eat shit.
No, yeah.
Like, I know
no.
popcorn is not exactly great for you, but it's
But I
not
mean, it's
like
also really
chocolate bars and stuff.
expensive. Like, I've been to movie theaters a little bit more frequently than you because I
How much
was
money they make? Like this is
I
not that
know,
expensive.
no.
Like, you buy
yeah,
popcorn
was
is
it
a-
like $8 for a large popcorn, and like literally it's like $5 for it's like a gallon of popcorn, like you to like Orville Redenbacher.
which is a gallon of
Yeah,
unpopped
yeah,
popcorn.
yeah. So,
I
like,
can't even
holy-
imagine
no,
how much
yeah,
that actually would
yeah,
be when it's
yeah.
popped. Like
But they don't even pop it at the movie theater anymore. Didn't you see it? They have like the heaters all on, and instead of like popping it, like they bring these giant like plastic bags filled with popcorn and dump them in there.
yeah, that's
It's like that's crap.
no. I
Sorry.
I try to keep plastic away from my food as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Oh, I liked Raisin Nuts. I used to like the snow caps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were
I
cool.
like the chocolate mints,
Yeah, the Junior Mints.
junior mints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked also, but my favorite always, of course, is the chocolate covered caramel. But then it like stuck to my teeth like so bad. But I usually I didn't. But the funny thing is, I liked all that stuff, but I never got it in the movie. I never got popcorn. Popcorn and a soda, or popcorn and water now. But yeah.
I would get occasionally. I'd get Reese's, but like I eat it so fast. Like that's
Yeah.
nice thing about popcorn is like
Yeah.
you can eat it for a while and you can sort of pace yourself. But
Yeah.
you get like candy and it's not as easy to do that.
Right.
Maybe if you had like little pieces of candy, like Reese's Pieces or something. But
Well, the snow caps
popcorn
are
works-
tiny,
yeah.
unless you're going to take a whole handful and like pop.
But like for a time period of like hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, no,
whatever,
popcorn's better.
Popcorn makes the most sense.
Because
It
you just
really
take one
does.
at a time too. You can like make it last. And some theaters let you like refill your popcorn, but like I don't want to get up in the
Yeah.
movie theater during the movie. You know?
Yeah, I'm curious to how that.
Milk duds,
got
that's it.
started.
Yes,
I
milk
love
duds. I
Milk
love milk
Duds.
duds. All right, so I think we have time for one more, and this is some weird shit that he just like he had me like listening to this like video. So I hope you're prepared for this. Anybody who's
It's
listening to
a
this, and Kit, you too.
it's a conspiracy theory. Well, yeah, actually it
It
is.
is a conspiracy theory, yes. And so this is right up the VOP's alley here. Um, I'm gonna let you explain this because this is too much for me to explain. Like I know it was music and weird toning and Nazis. That's all I know. So tell me.
Okay, so the concert pitch, as we generally know it in Western music, the A note, which is above middle C, and the treble clef staff, is tuned to 440 hertz, which means uh, the frequency vibrates 440 times per second.
Okay.
That was established back in the late 30s, early 40s. Oh, it wasn't until 1953.
1953.
That's right. Okay. They started getting into it in the 40s, but I guess it wasn't official until
Right.
53. But I watched another a video. I've spent a little time on this today because I just thought it was interesting. I never really heard about this before and where this came from, but it's been it wasn't established, like tuning wasn't universal until the middle of the 20th century. But the theory here is that 440 hertz is not the ideal number. 432 hertz would be, because it's supposed to be more in tune with mathematics in the universe.
Yes, and something about the Fibonacci sequence, which I know basically a real basic understanding is that there's everything in nature and in basically in the universe has like
Progression.
a progression, but not that's not the word, like a symmetry.
Mm.
Like everything has symmetry that's designed in nature. Like that's natural nature. It's all that has something to do with the Fibonacci sequence. I know that. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that, but that's the part that I remember. And that like, you have to be everything's mathematically consistent, right? Like it's all like kind of like a math based, like a fern. If you look at a fern's leaf, it's like it's proportional. Like what's on one side's on another side. Like nature, it's sort of all very symmetric. And so they're saying that this 440 hertz is that the is not consistent with the universe, and actually apparently can I got to read this line because you can't, it defies description. So it says 440 hertz is the unnatural standard tuning frequency. Now, this is the one that we all follow, right?
Yeah.
Which is removed from the symmetry of sacred vibrations as well as overtones, which also has declared war on the subconscious mind of Western man. So Dr. Leonard Horowitz wrote, the music industry features this imposing frequency, which is herding populations into some greater aggression, psychosocial agitation, as well as emotional distress, predisposing people to some physical illness. So everyone's listening to music, right? Like everyone's got their iPods in or their, whatever, headphones on and stuff like that. So basically, where did you get the Nazi part? Because that's not in this article. So talk to me about the Nazis. You wanted to go up? All right. I saw 19 something. Oh, here we go. I missed it. So there's a theory which says that the change from 432 hertz to 440 was actually dictated by Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. I've heard it pronounced like with an R sort of in it too, but he used it in order to make people think and feel a certain manner, as well as to make them a prisoner of a certain consciousness. Then somewhere around the year 1940, the U.S. introduced 440 around the world, and finally 1953 became the standard. So this reminds me of the episode in The Walking Dead where they had captured Daryl, like Negan before, it was before the big battle. Negan had captured Daryl and was basically torturing him with that song. Like he just kept playing that song over and over. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Negan. It was like the other guy, the one that had like the messed up face. But yeah, he just kept playing it over and over and over and over. And I mean, that really wore him down. So it's sort of, so basically, I think that the premise of this article, and so maybe you can tell me if I'm getting this right, just looking at this briefly, is that that basically the tuning, the most music is now is like at a pitch where it can help mind control people. That's what you're saying. Like the Nazis tried to use it to
I
like
wouldn't say it's mind
fuck with people, not to control their minds, but to like make them like perhaps mentally ill and like try to control them, perhaps, sort of. Is that what you're basically saying?
I think it's to disrupt their internal harmony. So
To make them
disturb
physically
your
sick.
peace.
Right.
Yeah. So like if 432 is relaxing and peaceful, 440 is like so as a musician
Mm-hmm.
that if the tuning is off a tiny bit, you feel that
Mm-hmm.
like
Your
it
teeth
feels
are on
bad.
edge. Yeah.
So that's typically called dissonance,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
I mean dissonance is used as a like is purposely used in music. Like notes are your chords are put together that are dissonant and there's like tension and release. This is how
Right.
music
Yeah.
flows.
Right.
But the idea is that I think here this is perhaps more subtle and like over a maybe a longer period of time you wouldn't notice it, but it's gonna like make you more aggressive, make you less patient, maybe things like that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, music itself, like depending on the song, like a lot of people have different like there are certain songs that I can listen to that can elicit emotions and like so I mean, music is very emotional and it's
Yes.
very specific to the listener.
Right.
Right? What might strike an emotional chord in me may not do that to you or to kid or to, somebody else. So, but now you're just talking about just like if you take so like one of my favorite pieces is it's actually called well, it's called a lot of different things, but one of the titles is May the Force Be With You, and it's that haunting sort of like Jedi theme that John Williams came up with. And there's a scene in Star Wars: A New Hope where Luke goes out and he's standing on like a rock and he's watching the two sunsets on Tatooine, and the music just swells, and that always just kind of like makes me catch my breath. But you're saying that if it was at a different, slightly different pitch, like a slightly different like hertz, like like
Tuning.
yeah, that it would be even more powerful to me, or would like it's interesting. Like I'm curious how to.
I don't know. I'm wondering, like you can do stuff digitally to like change the tuning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if
You
somebody,
should play around with that and see that if you can do that.
yeah, I've seen. I think you might be able to do that with Audacity, but
Right.
I
We'll have
don't
to
know.
try
I
that.
don't know how it work exactly with like something
Yeah.
that's already recorded
Yeah.
to just retune it, but
But some music and some music is very like to me is very soothing. It can make me like, oh my gosh, like, like jump up and be like, wow, and like fight, like yes, and like be powerful like that. Like, and I'm just thinking of silly things. Like now I'm just thinking of like the Rocky theme, right? That's like, or the Raiders of the Lost Ark theme, like they ride off into the sunset, Last Crusade, and it's just like or the music of Jaws, where you're like, oh fuck, it's coming. Where's it at? I mean, so there's so many different things like that. But you're saying that not even talking about the emotions, just the actual tone or the pitch is enough to make you, even if you love the song.
well, I'm just saying when it comes to this particular like the tuning here, we're talking about even a more basic level of like just like vibrating your body, right? So there are just think about like things so you've had some issues with your shoulder. You went to the chiropractor and she put some
Oh, it was a giant
devices on
vibrating
you.
thing. Yeah, like, but it was super deep. Like, oh my god, I can't even like
Right. We use a lot of like vibrating
vibration.
machines
I
to
think that was a shout out to Kit on
to
that
do
one.
to do various things. And they can be very emotional. I believe the Army also has some tools that they have like really they're able to target sound waves at people and cause them to like immobilize them.
Well, there was that whole story. It's just like recently where people was it like federal like workers, like people who are like what the hell you call that? And they're in like the diplomatic service, right? Like diplomats, foreign diplomats in different places. Like there was a couple places where like I think there was one in Cuba or something like that, or it was a Cuban. It was referred to from Cuba. It wasn't. They weren't in Cuba. It was like some the Cuba effect or some shit like that. But there were people who were getting like these terrible headaches or something like they were actually sick, and like a whole bunch of them, and they thought there was some kind of weird like magnetic something or other. Like they're trying to figure out what the hell's caused it. It was like a whole group of people, like 2 or 3 different embassies. So they feel like it was an attack. Well, maybe it was just changing music or something. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, you do represent that comment, Kit. You're welcome. We think of you often. But on that note, that's about it. See, I'm so good at it, I don't even realize I'm doing it. That's the problem. You realize it. I'm like, oh yeah, I meant to say that. No. I wish I did. I wish I was that smart and that funny and that witty. But thank you for listening to us ramble tonight. And tune in for tomorrow for the...
Get it again.
Okay. He needs to stop now. Tomorrow night at 7. No, I lied. At 8 o'clock. I don't even know my times anymore. What year is this? 8 o'clock tomorrow night is the ladies' night show where we will talk about vibrations. I promise you. There you go. Kevin's giving me a funny look. What?
Tune your radios to A432 and get pleasured.
Stop. Okay. Anyhow, thanks all and have a great night and appreciate you listening. And Kit, thank you always. You're our fan club. We appreciate that. Have a great night, folks.